Fawaz Gerges joins me now to talk about how the candidates debated foreign policy in that last face-off before the election. He is the chair of Contemporary Middle East Studies at the London School of Economics and also the author of ISIS, A History. Fawaz, thanks very much for coming in. Let's talk about Russia to start off with then. In the event of a Clinton administration or indeed of a Trump administration, what would that mean for US-Russia relations? Who's the puppet and who's pulling the string?
Well, we know Hillary Clinton has a history. We know where she stands. If you ask me, how would you define a Hillary Clinton administration? I would say it's more continuity with Barack Obama than discontinuity and change. That is reliance on multilateral diplomacy, avoidance of any direct military intervention, and also putting together local coalitions to confront America's security challenges. She would pursue the same policies in Iraq and Syria, using local forces and using American special forces and intelligence and air power. Here are the differences between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton will be more muscular. She would not shy away from the threat of use of force against Russia. She would deter Russia. She has made it very clear. And as you know, Hannah, Hillary Clinton is well known for her interventionist impulse. That is, she's much more muscular than Barack Obama. And the word she used in the debate, that is safe zones in Syria, it's a code word that Hillary Clinton would be willing to challenge Russian power in Syria by threatening to prevent Russian and Syrian the Air Force from really flying in certain areas in Syria.
And let's talk about Syria then, and Donald Trump in particular and his potential relationship with Vladimir Putin and Russia. There is deadlock around Aleppo at the moment and any diplomacy around how to stop the fighting there. Is there a potential for Donald Trump, under his administration at least, to break that deadlock, for there to be a different approach to how the world community comes together and tries to tackle this civil war?
I have listened to everything Donald Trump has said about foreign policy. I don't think really hard, and I'm not trying to be unfair to him. He does not have a foreign policy vision.
Is it just that he's an unknown entity, or...?
He doesn't know foreign policy.
He just doesn't know.
He's a businessman. In fact, he looks at foreign policy through the lens of business. He really, if you ask me, OK, we'll intervene if you pay for it. In fact, his approach to foreign policy wants to, really change the United States into a mercenary power, even when it comes to NATO. When he talks about Aleppo, Aleppo has fallen. He's already given up on Aleppo. Going to Mosul, why would you go to Mosul? You're giving Mosul on a silver platter to Iran. What really Donald Trump is extremely incoherent. He's all over the map. But let me be fair to him now. He probably would establish close relations with Putin. He thinks that relations with Russia would help the United States confront ISIS in particular. He praises dictators, whether it's Saddam Hussein or Bashar al-Assad. They're smart. Let me find my final points in terms of Trump and foreign policy. His all negativity. He criticizes both traditions, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. He just does not offer any constructive ideas. We don't know where he stands.
What about, let's refer back to Mosul again, because it came up in last night's debate a lot for both candidates. Hillary Clinton, you said that she's more interventionist than perhaps Barack Obama is, or perhaps Donald Trump is. But she has said no American boots on the ground in Mosul. They wouldn't be filling any power vacuum that would be left after this current offensive. Under her potential administration, how do you see the layout of the whole of the Middle East at the moment, and then the crisis in taking on ISIS in particular?
I think this is the critical question. Again, when it comes to Mosul, a Hillary Clinton administration would not change dramatically from Barack Obama. Relying on American special forces, you already now have, as you know, we have more than 5,000 troops in Iraq. Relying on local forces, but increasing the pace of American indirect military intervention. Hillary Clinton, in the past debate, in the second debate, she used a very important statement, code word. She says, I have learned the lessons of Iraq. As you know, she voted for intervention in Iraq. That means she will never send American troops to fight at the forefront, but she will use American forces to support local coalition. The only difference between a Hillary Clinton administration and a Barack Obama administration, she's willing to use more power. She's willing to threaten the use of power. And my take on Russia, she'll be more willing to challenge Putin in Eastern Europe and Syria and other places as well.
One other thing that I wanted to ask you about, in particular with foreign policy, nuclear proliferation across the world. Barack Obama has been very clear that he wants to reduce nuclear stockpiles across the world. Hillary Clinton would presumably stick along the same kind of lines as the Obama administration, but Donald Trump has been flip-flopping over whether he would allow or want other countries to have a nuclear stockpile, countries that don't currently have a nuclear stockpile. What would this mean in terms of the balance of power geopolitically?
I mean, in the past, you might say, in the past 30 or 40 years, American strategy has based on a foundation that nuclear proliferation is bad, is dangerous, to limit nuclear proliferation. Here you have Donald Trump saying, so what if Japan gets nuclear weapon? It's fine. Or South Korea. He is really opening the case. I mean, this is a dangerous situation, even on nuclear weapons. I mean, we have reports in which he says, so what if we use nuclear weapons? I mean, he tells you a great deal about his ignorance about foreign policy. And also, he really does not have any knowledge about the gravity of nuclear weapons, that this is the ultimate weapon. You don't risk it, you don't experiment. And this, again, the idea of incoherence, final point on his foreign policy, one word, isolationism. He really is, I mean, represents a particular old version of isolationism in American foreign policy.
And some would argue we haven't learnt from history then as far as that policy is concerned. Fawaz, thanks very much for coming in and joining us on Connect the World.